We'll freeze frame it to show that when there is contact made, the white car was actually. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show, a very special edition for AUN TV with my co host Sharon Engel, George Landreth, and the doctor for the Republic, Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasser Sheikh, and I am Rick Trader. And George, on yesterday's show, we talked about an incident that happened on an interstate highway involving Joe Biden's bus and a group of cars that were Trump supporters. And George, we have now found video of that incident. And before we show the video, George, talk a little bit about it.
Well, first of all, I want to point out why this is important to talk about now, since we mentioned it yesterday. And one, it's because the Twitter sphere and the mainstream media is affirmatively lying about what happened. They have basically manufactured a story to allow the Biden campaign to cancel events that weren't going to be attended otherwise, without admitting that we can't hold events because no one will show up. And so they decided, what will we do? Let's blame Trump and say that his people were, made it so it was unsafe and we couldn't hold these. And then the media dutifully follows their instructions and then manufactures, by careful editing of a video, to make it sound like the Trump train was the problem, when in fact it was the Biden train that was going along with the Biden bus that acted unsafely. And I know we've had to cut out her audio, the woman who taped this, because she had some expletives because she was a little surprised by what she saw. So she said some things that we can't, on FCC regulated airwaves say. But what's important is she specifically, when she's not dropping the S-bomb or other words, says the white car, the non-Trump car, swerves into the black car or black truck, which was the Trump truck. She specifically points that out and says, oh my goodness, this is, well, she doesn't say, oh my goodness, but So I just think it's interesting they deleted all of that to give you to support the narrative of the campaign staff who decided that that was what they needed. So I think this is important for our audience to see and hear, so they understand how the mainstream media isn't simply biased. They truly are lying sacks of rotting fecal matter.
Well, George, what I want our audience to notice when we play this tape, the white car has forced the black truck off the road. And when the black truck tries to get back into his lane, the white car makes contact with the black truck, and then the white car kind of veers off. And it's kind of like the little guy against the big guy. You have a little guy hitting the big guy. The little guy, you're going to get the bigger reaction from. So with that, I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we'll watch this video, and everyone can see exactly what we're talking about. All right, so here's the start of the video. And let me point out a couple of things. Number one, right here, you'll see the black truck that is following the Biden bus. You can just see the back of the black truck following the Biden bus. But as this video progresses, what happens is this white car, where you see my arrow, forces the black truck off the road onto the shoulder. All right. And when the black truck tries to re-enter the highway, the white car makes contact with the black truck, and you'll see what happens. We'll freeze frame it to show that when there is contact made, the white car was actually in the lane of the black truck. Okay, now you can see right here the angle the white car is making to re-enter the lane in front of the black truck. Can we all see that?
It's pretty obvious that the white
Pretty
truck,
obvious.
the white SUV is turning into the truck. And yet that's not what the media told us. The media lied to us and
So
then edited this video.
Again, we'll continue the video and watch what's happening. So now the white car has swerved back into his own lane. The black truck is once again in his lane. He may have overcorrected a little bit. Now watch what the white car does after this. And again, this is unedited video, except that the audio has been taken out. See, here we go again. Once again, the white car is again swerving over. Let me take this back a little bit. The white car is again swerving over into the lane occupied by the black truck. See, there you go. See where the white car is? He's again crossing over into the lane which I call the slow lane, the cruising lane.
And about right here is where the woman exclaims about how the white vehicle is to blame for swerving into the truck twice.
Okay.
And so my point there, and I understand we have to edit that out because we can't, use those kind of expletives on broadcast, and I don't think any of us like to talk that way anyhow. But bottom line is, what's relevant here is this is a 1 minute 7 second video. The one you will see most places on most news sites is a 24-second video. They removed 43 seconds of video so as to mislead you as to what happened.
Now, one other thing I want to point out here, George, the white car was in the passing lane behind this other white car that has a Trump flag. Now watch how close this white car goes into the center lane in front of this other white car with the Trump. See that?
Yeah, it looks like he put his, I think I see his brake light on now.
He barely has enough room, and I'll take this back a little bit to play it again. Barely, and this is the white car right here with the Trump flag that I'm referring to. So there goes the white car. He passes that car, and there again, you see him trying to crowd the center lane, and there he goes, cuts in front of the white car. There's the Biden bus, and actually at the very end of it, George, I'll take this back again, and at the very end, you can see the car merged all the way over, crossed the center lane, back into the cruising lane, right in front of the Biden bus. It's right at the end of the video. Let me go back a little bit here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not catching it, but
no, you
right
did.
at the
yeah,
right at the end.
Yeah, I saw the white truck in the the white SUV swerve over 2 full lanes and was now in the bus's lane.
Right. So watch right at the end of the video. See, there's a white car right in front of the gray car. So that white car started out. Here is a still shot, George, that shows the white car crossing over into the slow lane. See that?
Yeah.
Crossing into the slow lane, which created contact. Right past this is another freeze frame.
Right.
And if you see where the tires are, oh, okay, here's another shot. Now, here's another shot. George, look where the white car is pointed. It
Yeah.
looks like the white car is pointed right to the back of the Biden bus, trying to cut off the black truck.
Yeah. Right, but the press doesn't show you this, and they've edited it so as to. So I think this story is an example of the left once again using violence and threats of violence, and lying about it, and then the press helping them. So in other words, the Biden campaign decided we are having poor events here that aren't well received. We're going to cancel them, but we don't want to admit that. So we're going to make up a story, and they use this confrontation and doctored video to come up with their explanation of what's going on. And I think it's very important that our viewers and listeners understand that this is the game that the left plays. And it's why you can't believe the press. It's why you can't take anything that they say at face value. The Joe Biden and his friends and the campaign staff are filled with people who lie through their teeth. They lie as easily as they breathe.
All right. Now, what I want to do, folks, is I want to share another video with you and our audience. And to do this, I need to turn on the audio for screen sharing. I know one of them says turn on screen sharing. Anybody see that? Stop switch screen sharing window. Tell me if you can hear this video when I play it. I'll have to go back and play it actually. Can you hear this audio?
No.
You
No,
cannot
not
hear.
yet.
All right. Well, let me go back and try to. I know there's a setting on Skype for screen sharing. So let me just figure out where that is. Not screen sharing, but also sharing audio.
Yeah, that's fine. We can edit this part out, right?
Maybe we can, maybe we can't.
Well, I'm just saying you can snip this part of the video out so that we just go from seamlessly from one event to the other without all the technical difficulties.
Let me try this. Let me try stopping. We never had technical difficulties, George. Cut your tongue out, my friend. All right, I'm going to stop the screen sharing.
That would make talking kind of difficult, I think. If I cut my
And I'm
tongue
going
out.
to. Okay, here, share computer sound. So I'm going to start the screen sharing.
I really want to.
All right, now let me set this up. Yesterday on yesterday's Conservative Commandos radio show, we talked about how there were many groups, including Black Lives, including Antifa, that were planning to shut down the Washington, D.C., shut down the government, shut down the White House starting Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Now, this website that I found houses leaked internal documents, images, videos, and internal communications from a group called the Sunrise Movement and other radical left affinity groups. Leaked Zoom calls reveal federal workers compromising, conspiring with progressive activists to shut down the White House, disrupt government in case of a contested election. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And since then, we have found these videos. I want to play this video so all our audience can see exactly what we're talking about.
Hear from Shut It Down DC about this. Do we have any plans for how to respond if there's a coup?
Yeah, we
Did you hear her words? Coup. She used the word to respond if there is a coup.
have been in discussion for a couple months about how to respond to different contested election scenarios. First step is that we think that we need to start the post-election phase in the streets. So we're inviting people to come to BLM Plaza.
Start the post-election phase in the streets. That's their words, not mine. They're going to start the post-election phase in the streets.
Anytime after 4 p.m. on election night. On the 5th, we're going to shut down the White House. On the 6th, we're going to shut down.
It's talking about shutting down the White House on the 5th.
Larger parts of Washington, D.C.
On the 6th, shut down larger parts of Washington, D.C.
And then the following week, all the mainstream groups are going to come to D.C. and try to have a march on the 7th. So that's a Saturday, and we'll see how that goes. But then the following week, Congress is planning on coming to town and passing laws again and having business as usual. And we're saying if we're in a coup, there's no time for business as usual. Members of Congress that are coming in, we're going to meet them at the airports or at Union Station and send them back to where they came from.
Rick?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? That's what I was going to. They're going to actually go and be at the airports, meet these congressmen, congress people, and basically force them back to get on the plane, return to their homes.
So in essence, they are creating a coup. In essence, they are trying to overthrow our government.
This is treason. This is absolute treason, pure and simple. And these SOBs need to be stopped.
Well, as I mentioned, when I first got this message from a very good friend of mine, I thought, oh my gosh, I hope she's not falling into the trap of rumor and innuendo. You know, when she said she got a message from a friend who works for the utility company in Washington, D.C., saying that they were going to be on call because they expected exactly what we're seeing and what we're hearing right now.
Till we deal with the situation that we're in. If enough of them get in and we need to go to Capitol Hill that week, we'll do that too.
I heard someone in the chat talking about revolution time. And so I encourage, for all of us to be fighting for revolution.
She's saying revolution time, yep. Fighting for revolution. And this is in Washington, D.C. We've seen these antics in Seattle, in Portland, in Chicago, in Philadelphia. They are taking it to our nation's capital.
For today, tomorrow, afterwards.
We're facing an administration and a potential coup and a potential insurrection where efforts to criminalize this are going to be even greater. Understanding that everything that we're doing now in this moment is laying the groundwork for what is going to come. Is there going to be a war? Are people going to get killed?
Listen to what she says.
Absolutely.
Is that
Wait, you haven't heard it yet.
I'm guessing it is.